Hi, and thank you so much for popping by. My name is Dr. Rita Pobaluzzi, and you are most welcome to this conversation today. On my mind are some key terms: strategic partnerships, strategic collaborations, and anytime I hear people discussing these terms, I know that the intention is to get a mutually beneficial relationship. For example, one party might be the expert and the other party might be the one that needs to close some of those gaps or those lacks in skills, in expertise, in knowledge, right? And sometimes it is financing, access to better markets, partnerships, whether partnerships are on the local, regional, or international basis. The intention is that one party is going to be empowered from this relationship, and the other party is also going to feel a sense of mutual beneficial relation vibes, you know? So even when we think about these strategic collaborations, the intention is to empower, right? It is to empower the people who may not have been necessarily exposed. The reason I'm talking about this is because I happen to be reading a story that involves Kgosi Kgafela of Bakgatla Ba Kgafela. And Kgosi Kgafela was saying, you know, I'm going to be working with AfriForum. I'm going to be collaborating with AfriForum for the benefit of Bakgatla Ba Kgafela, for the benefit of my community. Yes, I was also as surprised why of all the communities would Kgosi Kgafela choose this particular politically charged community called AfriForum to partner with, right? And when you look at the history of agricultural production, farming production in Botswana, and I think also in the case of South Africa, you will see that these white South Africans, the Afrikaners, are the ones who have typically been known. They have a reputation of being the best when it comes to farming and agricultural production. They have been doing this for many years in a very sustainable manner. So I can see why Kgosi Kgafela said, of all the communities, I am going to reach out and partner with this specific community, AfriForum, this specific population, the Afrikaners, in order to improve the livelihood of my own people. I can understand from a strategic aspect why he would choose this community versus any other to impart this skill. But of course, ethically, right, morally, I can see why people are saying, but this is not the most ethical or moral relationship, or this is not the most ethical or moral partnership because of the history of AfriForum. Something else that caught my attention when Kgosi Kgafela was talking about this partnership is specifically where he said, Afrikaners will not be taking the land. It's a lease agreement. You know, so this is quite a politically charged collaboration, if you ask me. This is a collaboration which is really speaking to some of the sensitive issues. When you talk about land, whether it's in Botswana or South Africa, when you talk about land in any country, it's a very sensitive issue because when it comes to locals, the complaint is that we don't have enough access to land, right? And I immediately think of the Tati company or the Tati commission. And in the case of Botswana, they've had to buy the land from the Tati company and the Tati commission, particularly in the Northeastern District, NED, right? So these are very sensitive issues. I'm not disputing the fact that things are not equal. That's not what I'm disputing. I am not disputing the fact that things are not equal, and I'm not disputing the fact that there are certain reasons why Black populations in both countries may not have been able to participate fully in farming production. But to be fair, I often ask myself in the context of Botswana, if the Khanti district farmers have been able to participate in this industry for this many years, have been able to overcome some of the negative aspects of farming and agricultural production for this many years, to have the capacity to generate this much output, what has been stopping us as local Botswana from doing the same, right? And this is why I was speaking about this idea of transportation and farming in my previous posts, to say there are definitely some missed opportunities that we as locals are not tapping into, right? There are definitely some missed opportunities, and perhaps the messaging hasn't been so positive for us. But I can tell you, anytime I hear that communities or certain people and populations have been involved in a particular sector for so many years, I think sustainability, right? Which means there is a sustainable aspect to what they are doing. Politics aside, the intention of strategic partnerships, as is the case when Botswana went on a benchmarking exercise in Estonia. They went to Estonia because Estonia is the country from which they have been very good at digital innovations, right? So Botswana said, you know what, we're going to go to Estonia. We're going to learn how to improve e-governance services, right? How to make sure that we can tap into the skills, the expertise that Estonia has had for this many years, so that we can improve service delivery in Botswana. Another scenario that comes to mind when I think of strategic partnerships is when the Botswana government has said, you know what, China, we are willing to learn from you about how to produce these electric vehicles. So we will partner with you in terms of this production of electric vehicles, because you are the ones who have the skills. And sometimes you are also the one who has the market reach. Sometimes you are also the one that has the finances to back these projects up. So what is also coming to mind for me when I think of strategic partnerships is within the public health sector in Botswana, where we know that in some of the instances, right, we're seeing doctors going to Cuba, right, to go and learn a lot more. And in the public health instance, I know that there are strong partnerships and collaborations with universities here in the United States together with Botswana, right? This is a partnership where Botswana is learning so much from Harvard in terms of medical expertise or public health expertise in order to improve their own services in the country. There are so many other partnerships of this nature, right? Listen, I'm not advocating for this partnership. I'm saying I can see why he would choose this specific community of Afrikaners to impart this particular skill in farming and agricultural production. All right, I can see why. Alrighty, my friend, I thank you so much for popping by. I hope you are having a lovely day where you are, but most importantly, I hope you're having a healthy day wherever you're watching me from. Bye.